Hey everybody, my cat's about to take a crap, so I'm gonna have some beer. Today, I'm drinking the Two Roads Evil Twin collaboration beer, Geyser Gose, which makes me think of Kaiser Sose, Kevin Spacey. Well, this is a Gose, a German salty sour beer, brewed with a bunch of Icelandic ingredients. They list moss, herbs, kelp, and sea salt on the can, but more particular in this good article describing how the Two Roads brewer Phil Markowski and the Evil Twin brewery Jeppe Bjergso actually went to Iceland together, and they decided on ingredients to put in this beer, and more particularly it's actually Icelandic moss, rye, sea kelp, skyr, which is Icelandic yogurt, which I guess that's where they're getting the souring agent from, probably, because lactobacillus is in yogurt, so I'm sure it's just lactobacillus still. And then birch smoked sea salt. So very cool, rustic, like fancy, weird Euro cuisine stuff going on. And also, it seems like the combination of their two faces on here looks kind of like David Foster Wallace to me, in a weird way. But actually, I had this beer a couple days ago, but didn't get a chance to think about it too much. And now I want to think about it. So that's what's going to happen. And it's 5.5% alcohol, a little high for a Gose. Not sure why, but still comes in a tall boy. And I'm going to use an abnormal glass so I can fit it all in there. Doesn't seem like this is the kind of beer you should put in a fancy, like, goblet thing. Here it goes. Very pale. Not extremely hazy. Good amount of carbonation. Oh, it's pretty darn hazy once you pour a lot in there. It smells like a classic Gose. Lemony, tart, a little bit briny. It might be a little bit more on that damp, mossy side. It kind of reminds you of like some plain where it's been flooded after a tide, and there's a bunch of rocks and moss and seaweed growing, and maybe a couple fish flopping around. I don't get actually fish in this, but just damp, wet earth. Pretty strong aroma, not as ridiculous as some of these double, triple, quadruple dry hop things I've been drinking lately. But it smells very, very welcoming, and like it's going to totally refresh me in a way. Firm tartness, because there's a lot of Goses where you don't really notice it, but that makes your mouth water a little bit there. And I'm not getting much smokiness. Attacking cat over here. It might build up a little bit after a while. It's a little bit just like wet wood and wet grass and moss, and just a kind of like a forest or shallow sea rocky area, basically. But it kind of just takes all the normal elements of the Gose and brings them a little bit deeper and more damp and dank in a way. Very nice. Not too salty at all. And they don't say anything about coriander being in here. I'm pretty sure there isn't any. But the herbs definitely add something to it. They don't say specifically what herbs are in it. It's clear it's not like they don't have a lot of lavender or chamomile or anything like that in this. It's pretty traditional Gose tasting. And still pretty light body for 5.5%. I'm not getting much of a alcohol burn in combination with the salt or the sourness. There's some Goses like the Night Shift Harborside which they actually throw like whole oysters in. And last year's version was up there like 5.5%, and it was just kind of burnt my throat after a while. It didn't work for the whole sessionable idea that I think the Gose is all about. I wish there were some weirder flavors going on in here, honestly, so I could just talk about them. But I feel like anyone who loves a Gose will love this one, and it'll be better than most that you've had, even. But I kind of doubt it's ever going to be made again. And yeah, it is kind of disappointing that they went through all this work going to Iceland and choosing all these ingredients, and just ends up being like a really top-notch Gose. And not something a little bit more, but I don't know if I ever want something in a Gose anymore. I don't want a Gose to have like higher alcohol, and I haven't had a dry hopped Gose that was really that stellar, but I don't know if it could be if you just triple dry hopped a Gose with Citra on top of the sour and the salt. It might not work out that well. Maybe. You can prove me wrong. It definitely just refreshes your whole face. And your mouth just seems like it's been cleaned out with a nice minerally saline. I guess once you lick around in your lips and stuff, the corners of your mouth get pretty salty after a while. It almost seems like it was just slightly oak aged instead of that whole birch smoked sea salt thing. I don't get anything like a big beechwood smoked lager from Bamberg or anything like that. No, not really meaty or in any way, or smoked ham. Just a little bit of some woody qualities to it. Whew, excuse me. It makes you want to drink a lot of it though. It definitely makes you salivate quite a bit. The combination of the sour and the salt just gets all the fluids flowing in your face. Anyone who loves Goses, I would definitely recommend getting this one. But if you're looking for some special trip to Iceland, I guess it's sort of in here. It kind of makes me think, I've never been there, but of a damp, green, salty, foresty place. Yeah, but if you just gave this to me, I might not be able to guess that it has abnormal ingredients for a Gose. But I do like it a lot. I'd probably do like an 8 out of 10 for this one. Because there's nothing to take it really that much higher. But it'd be nice to try this next to something like the Rittergut's Gose, which is one of the best traditional ones that has pretty clear salt and sour elements, just like this. But this probably is a little bit more sour. But it blows a lot of Goses out of the water that are just too coriandery or not very sour. And I guess it seems like there's a little bit more complexity to this than something like the Anderson Valley Gose, which is very good, but I remember that one just, after a while, I just get bored of it, especially if that one got warm. I haven't been able to drink this one slow enough to experience it being warm, so that could tell you that maybe it's got that little extra thing that's like, I think I gotta try this again, see what's happening. So, 8 out of 10. Two Roads Evil Twin Geyser Gose.